We'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And we lost a very dear retiree, Jerry Sizemore, passed away suddenly last week, so keep her family in your prayers.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. First item on the agenda is public comments. People are welcome to speak on any agenda item, as well as speak now. And if you go to the microphone, please give your name and address for the record. And remember that the person who does the meeting minutes, they are not in the room this evening. And the limit's 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joanne McCullum. I live at 1900 Tyler Road, Ypsilanti Township. And I would like to thank Supervisor Brenda Stumbo, Clerk Karen Lovejoy Rowe, and Trustee Ross Williams for paying attention to the roundabout wired road condition of the grass. I really appreciate all of the efforts that you've made to make sure the road commission takes care of that unsafe situation. So I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank Trustee Wilson for helping us out on West Willow Dumpster Day. He was there helping residents put their items into the dumpster. And I would like to thank Deputy Bynum, who is our neighborhood deputy liaison. He always follows up on calls that people have made, and if he doesn't put it in, if I don't put it in next door, what he's followed up on, he will put it on next door. And I think it helps a lot to have explanations of, okay, I called in, I heard these gunshots, and so what happened? And then Deputy Bynum will write back, actually, there were no gunshots. It was actually fireworks. And, you know, just to know that a deputy is following up and making sure that things are okay helps a lot. I also would like to say about the gas stations on Ecorse Road. I do think we have enough on Ecorse Road, and I have probably bought more things in the gas station, food items, than I have gas, because gas is expensive in our area, not only on Ecorse Road, but in our area. And so people have a tendency to go outside of the area to get gas, but we do use the stations for food, but I would think we could put something there on Ecorse Road that has food in it, just food for people to walk and go and get that. So I like the residential structures that were suggested for Ecorse Road. I think that would be nice to have those. Those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joanne. Any other public comment?
My name is Arloa Kaiser. I live at 1421 Melvin Street, and I have 2 items here. One, I am opposed to Ypsilanti Township giving property to the YMCA, and the property that they're talking about giving to the YMCA is next to the post office. I find that several places where they have all these activities that you have problems with people. You're bringing a whole bunch of young kids and that type of thing. And by giving this, the YMCA, this property, I don't know how many millions of dollars that the township spent on that, and we're just giving it away. I did learn tonight that this has to do with Washtenaw County, and there's a bunch of other people that are included in it. What happened to the deal of them getting it in Ypsilanti, in the city? There's got to be some places where we still can have a tax base from our property. I don't want my property taxes to go up, and the board just gives this property with no taxes to people. That's ridiculous. That means that you are not for us, the people. You just want the money. Second thing, on the radio, I heard some woman in power in the state now wants to go to MDOT to have some kind of study done for roads to be repaired and having toll booths. Come on, folks. Can I get the township to write a letter to the powers to be in the state to say they're wasting our money? It costs money to do all these studies. If you have toll booths, it's going to cost money for toll booths. You're just wasting our money. Put the money towards the roads. You've got money with these stupid roundabouts. How much extra money do these roundabouts cost? Let's get the basics done so we have decent roads. No potholes. We used to have decent roads. People knew when they drove into Michigan that we had good roads. Also, they go to MDOT, they want sound barriers. Fine, but that money comes from our roads. Let's stick to getting the basic roads done. Then if you have extra money, then you can have extra things. It's just like at home. If you don't have the money to eat the food, you don't go out and buy caviar. And I would like, if you would, write a letter to say, stop wasting our tax dollars on foolish things. Let's get the basics done. And again, I am against the YMCA, the township giving them the property. Thank you.
Any other comment? Any other public comment? No. All right, we'll go on to the agenda. We have the consent agenda, which is the minutes of the May 21st work session regular meeting, statements and checks, and the May 2019 treasurer's report.
Move to approve. Support.
Motion Rowe, support Doe. Are there questions and comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Attorney General legal update, Mr. Winter?
Just two updates. One in regards to the Washtenaw Avenue sidewalk easement. It appears that we may yet obtain that easement from Camelot, the never-ending odyssey of Camelot. The attorneys for Camelot have said that the Key Bank, the lender, has approved the grant of easement and that we might get back a portion of our retainer and even some other dollars that will not be going to Key Bank for a non-refundable review fee. I've yet to receive that information from Key Bank, but it does appear that we're getting closer. And during the meantime, I know that Nathan Vogt has also reached out to U-Haul and Mr. Muffler. We think that we have a shot of getting the easements that will extend the sidewalk easement east. And so I think that we're getting close. And talking with Nathan, he thinks this project will probably, more likely than not, get bid out this fall and probably will start in 2020. But that's one more, hopefully, check off our checklist of things to complete. In regards to the Township Board's ordinance of mandating that we have proceed with reviewing the recreational marijuana, both myself and Dick Carlisle have had our first meeting and trying to map out our strategy as to how we're going to follow through with the board's mandate. And we're also looking at receiving the rules from the state of Michigan maybe by the end of this month. And so we will report to the board any updates that obviously would be pertinent. Keep the board informed as to our progress. And again, we've had our first meeting last week. So we're going to proceed with the due diligence and the respect that the board was expecting that we proceed with when it passed the ordinance with the sunset provision. So I'll keep the board informed.
Thank you. Under old business? I apologize. Under old business, we have the second reading resolution 2019-06, proposed ordinance 2019-486. It's an ordinance amending Article 27 of the zoning ordinance to add the conditional rezoning text amendments. The first reading was held at the May 7th regular meeting. Clerk Rowe?
I have resolution number 2019-06, which references 2019-486 ordinance to amend Article 27 of the zoning ordinance to add the conditional rezoning text amendments. Whereas Section 3405 of the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, Public Act 110 of 2006, as amended, authorizes a property owner or their authorized representative to voluntarily offer conditions to the rezoning of their property as a means to provide a voluntary mechanism for an applicant to self-limit their request. Whereas the Township Planning Commission recommended updates to the zoning ordinance to specify the process and circumstances for conditional rezoning under the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. And whereas the Township Planning Consultants have recommended amendments to the Township of Ypsilanti's Planning Commission to the Township Zoning Code, and whereas at its regularly scheduled meeting held April 9, 2019, the Commission recommended approval of the Planning Consultant's proposed amendments to the Township Zoning Code to the Township Board to update Article 27, changes and amendments to specify the process and circumstances for reconditional zonings. And whereas proposed ordinance number 2019-486 has revised the current existing ordinance in such a fashion as to incorporate the above changes recommended, and whereas the Charter Township of Ypsilanti Board of Trustees agrees with the request of the Planning Commission, now therefore be resolved that the Charter Township of Ypsilanti Board of Trustees does hereby approve ordinance number 2019-486 as attached by amending Article 27 of the Township Zoning Code as noted, replacing it with proposed ordinance number 2019-486, which ordinance reflects the suggestions and input of the Township's Planning Consultant as recommended by the Commission. I would so move resolution number 2019-06 and the second reading of ordinance number 2019-486.
Support.
Motion clerk, support Rowe. Questions or comments? Hearing none, we have to do a roll call vote.
I just want to thank, I know there's a lot of work that went into this. I know it came out of that tennis thing that we're doing. And I know that both the planning department together, Charlotte together with, I think Doug and Angie put a lot of work in coming up with, I think we got a good plan. I think this is a good economic tool that will really help the township for in special circumstances where people need that. So thanks.
All right. Gerald Rowe?
Yes.
Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Doe?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
The second reading is approved and it's adopted. Under new business, we have the first reading of proposed resolution 2019-27, proposed ordinance 2019-488, and ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Charter Township Ypsilanti, Chapter 30, Article 2, entitled Fire Prevention Code by the adoption of the 2018 edition of the International Fire Prevention Code. Clerk Rowe?
I have Resolution 2019-17, which is references 2019-488, adoption of the 2018 edition of the International Fire Prevention Code. Whereas the Charter Township Ypsilanti Board of Trustees recognizes the need for a modern, up-to-date fire code addressing the conditions hazardous to life and property from fire explosion hazards, storage, handling, and use of hazardous substances and materials, and the use and occupancy of buildings and premises. And whereas the International Fire Code 2018 edition is designed to meet these needs through model code regulations that safeguard public health and safety, and whereas the International Fire Code 2018 edition is fully compatible with the Michigan Building Code, Michigan Residential Code, Michigan Rehabilitation Code, and the International Property Maintenance Code, whereas the Township Fire Department recommends adoption of ordinance number 2019-488, now therefore be resolved, the Charter Township Ypsilanti Board of Trustees hereby adopts by reference attached ordinance number 2019-488, amending the Code of Ordinance of the Charter Township Ypsilanti, Article 2, the Fire Prevention Code. I would so move resolution 2019-27, and which is to approve the first reading of ordinance number 2019-488.
Support.
Motion Rowe.
You know, I said first reading, but this only takes one, right? I'm sorry. This isn't rezoning.
No, I think that it's an ordinance, it takes two.
Does it take two no matter what? Okay, I'm sorry.
Support Ross Williams. We have a motion support to update the fire code from 2012 to 2018. Any questions or comment? Hearing none, a roll call vote. Gerald Rowe?
Yes.
Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Doe?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
The first reading is approved. Thank you,
Thank you.
Chief, and thank you for... Number 2 is a first reading resolution 2019-26, which is a proposed ordinance 2019-487, amending the zoning ordinance to add Article 11A, E-Course Road, Form-Based District to enact form-based zoning and updated uses and to rezone E-Course Road to be consistent with the Article 9A zoning ordinance language. 9A,
Have a resolution.
huh?
Let me read the resolution.
Yes.
I have a resolution, 2019-26, which is a reference to the first reading of ordinance number 2019-487. It's a resolution to amend the zoning ordinance of the Charter Township of Ypsilanti to add Article 11-A, which is the E-Course Road Form-Based District, and to enact the form-based zoning and updated uses, and to rezone the E-Course Road to be consistent with the Article 11-A zoning ordinance language. And whereas the Charter Township of Ypsilanti adopted the E-Course Road / East Michigan Avenue placemaking plan in 2018, and whereas changes to the zoning on E-Course Road are key to the implementation of that plan, and whereas the township planning consultants have recommended amendments to the Township of Ypsilanti's Planning Commission and to the Township Zoning Code, and whereas at its regular scheduled meeting held on April 23rd of 2019, the commission recommended approval to the Township Board of the Planning Consultants' proposed amendments to the Township Zoning Code to the Township Board to add Article 11-A, E-Course Road Form-Based District to enact form-based zoning and updated uses. And whereas at its regularly scheduled meeting, April 23rd, 2019, the Planning Commission recommended approval to the Township Board of the Planning Consultants' proposed amendments to the Ypsilanti Township zoning map to be consistent with the recommended addition to the Township Zoning Code, the Township Board to add Article 11-A, E-Course Road Form-Based District to enact form-based zoning and updated uses. And whereas proposed ordinance number 2019-487 has revised the current existing ordinance in such a fashion as to incorporate the above changes recommended. And whereas the Charter Township Ypsilanti Board of Trustees agrees with the request of the Planning Commission, now therefore be it resolved that the Ypsilanti Township Board of Trustees hereby approves ordinance number 2019-487, first reading, as attached by amending the zoning ordinance to include Article 11-A of the Township Zoning Code as noted, with the proposed ordinance number 2019-487, which ordinance reflects the suggestions and input of the Township's Planning Commission as recommended, of the Township's Planning Consultant as recommended by the Commission. I would so move Resolution 2019-26 and approve the first reading of ordinance number 2019-47.
Support.
We have a motion and support to approve the first reading with the items discussed.
Oh, yes.
I-
Can I make an amendment to that ordinance or to that resolution that we also, the items that were discussed in work session, which is specifically to remove gas stations and car washes from the type, or from the, what's the proper words, Megan?
From the list of allowed uses.
From the list of allowed uses in the E-Course Road zoning. If that's okay to be a friendly, I'll just change it, Jimmy, if that's all right with you?
Yes.
All right. Sorry about that.
There's a friendly amendment, and could you elaborate on that to make sure
Yes, absolutely.
people
So
understand that the current people can still continue to operate?
Yes, so the amendment would be that gas stations and car washes that currently exist on E-Course Road would become non-conforming uses, and they could continue to operate indefinitely as long as there was not a change in the use did not lapse. Also, if they applied for a non-conforming A status, they could expand. And then also there is potential within the proposed changes for buildings actually with non-conforming use to expand due to the increased setbacks that are in some of the, for some of the properties.
Is there any public comment on the E-Course Road? No? Anyone here for that? No? Okay. I just wanted to ask that question.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I'm glad about the auto repairs not that being limited. I would like that, even though I have used them, but I think we have enough. And also the gas stations, like I said, even if you put more gas stations, that's not going to draw the price down, because they're all going to be like, well, you go first, or you go first. You know, it's still going to be expensive. We don't buy gas around there because it's high. It's high around here. So like I said, I've been in there to buy food or something like that. I have. But I would like just a regular store that sells fresh fruits and vegetables and snacks. That would go good there. So I would prefer that than I agree with limiting, you know, what we have there is fine. We have those gas stations. We have the auto repair. That's fine. But, you know, to move forward and looking at our future for the master planning, I think we should look at other businesses besides gas stations and auto repair shops and such. Thank you. Oh, do I need to say my name?
Yeah.
Joanne McCullum. I live at 1900 Tyler Road.
Thank you.
Just a point of information, I just want to make sure that when we did the ordinance, that the amendment was no new car washes, no new gas stations, and no new auto places. I didn't know if I said all three. That's what I meant to say, without going back and looking at the tape, listening to the tape.
So it's hard to see the vision of Ecorse Road, and I know that there was several meetings held with a lot of groups of people in order to get feedback on it. But you can envision it 20 years down the road to be like a downtown where people can walk and visit the different restaurants or breweries or grocery store, whatever that they have now and what they can have in the future. So it's really going to make a more walkable, healthier community, which is the goals that everyone, the residents agreed in the master plan for not only the zoning ordinance, but also for the recreation. So the bike path and, it all is starting to come together, it seems like, and that's all I would like to say. This is first reading.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to add that I was at probably the final meeting with business owners in the area, and they were just really satisfied that they could remain as they are, and so that was
And
good.
expand.
And expand if they want, yeah.
All right, so we just.
Madam Chair, sorry, if it's okay. Again, I just wanted to thank all the work that has been done with the business owners, residents, the various meetings. Charlotte, Megan, thank you for all of the work that you all put into this. I really appreciate it. I'm sure the residents do also. So I just want to make sure that was pointed out.
All right. So this is an ordinance. It's a first reading. We have the second reading at the next, July 2nd or the next one? The next one. July 16th board meeting. And because it's an ordinance, which is a law, we have to have a roll call vote.
Yes.
Rowe? Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Doe?
Yes.
And Wilson?
Yes.
The first reading is approved. Thank you. Number 3 is a request to approve a border-to-border trail agreement for Bridge Road to Snow Road and the Grove Road Trail segment with the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation
So moved.
Commission.
Support.
There's a motion and support to approve the agreement. Questions or comment? The only request is that we make it clear that the Phase 2 and Phase 1 in the letter to the clerk's office, if we could, yeah. Just for clarity, in case something happens and we're not here anymore. We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 4 is Resolution 2019-28, support for the Iron Bell Trail in the Charter Township of Ypsilanti.
Support.
It's a motion by Rose, supported by Ross Williams for the Iron Bell Trail. So there was a presentation, the work session, and this will connect Washtenaw County to Wayne County and continue up to Canada, I think. Doesn't it eventually end up?
It does. It goes up north.
Yeah. We have a motion and support to approve this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That's if we do it. Number 5 is a request to award the low bid for the Grove Road Path Extension project to Best Asphalt in the amount of $371,747.50 with a 10% contingency of $36,752.50.
Move to approve.
What?
I'm sorry, you're not done.
She said move to approve, support.
What?
No, she wasn't
made a
done, so I
motion
need to
to
take that back. You
All
were
right.
not done.
I'm
Yep.
sorry.
And so for a total amount of $408,500 and to be budgeted in line item 212-970-000-997-007, contingent upon the approval of the budget amendment.
Move to support.
Motion Doe, support Ross Williams to approve the Grove Road Pathway Extension Project.
Yes.
Clerk Rowe.
I just wanted to say that, I don't know if you remember, but we were going to only get $125,000 that we were awarded last year for the Connecting Communities, and with the new agreement that we entered into earlier on the agenda, now this complete entire amount is being paid for by other sources other than the township, out of our budget or our taxpayers are paying for it, because a lot of the money comes to a county millage, but we're getting that back in Ypsilanti Township and not using our general fund, and I think that's great. And so all those that worked on that, Matt, I know you worked on it, Brenda's been working on it, Roy's not here, so anyways, I think that's pretty exciting, just real excited about that.
So for those who were not at the work session, it's going to go redoing the path from Bridge Road, heading towards Rawsonville, and eventually it'll be all the way down to Rawsonville. And there'll be a part leading to the schools, so the children could have a path back to the actual school facility. But our total commitment on both projects was $97,000. So it'll probably be $1 million, somewhere around $1 million project. So. All right. We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request to approve agreement with OHM for construction services for the Phase 1 Grove Road pathway from Bridge Road to Snow Road in the amount of $33,500, which is to be budgeted in line item 212-970-000-997-007, contingent upon the approval of a budget amendment.
So moved.
Motion Rowe, support Gerald Rowe. Discussion. This is all has to do with this one large project. We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 7 is a request to approve the agreement with OHM for professional engineering design services for the Phase 2 Grove Road border-to-border pathway from Snow Road to Rawsonville Road, and in the amount of $47,900 to be budgeted in line item 212-970-000-997-007, contingent upon approval of the budget amendment.
So moved.
Support.
There's a motion in support to approve it?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'm apologize. This is what, in the work session, we were discussing that the county is actually going to be in charge of one of the pieces, and I don't remember. but
This one.
it'll be- Is it task 3 or 4?
4,
Yeah, this is one we need to change the act.
Okay.
the county would bid out the construction.
So just a friendly amendment that we changed.
We just
that.
need to change the proposal before we sign it to make sure that it shows that actually Washington County is bidding it out, not
Great.
Ypsilanti Township. And Matt's going to do that for us.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding us of that, Heather. And this also includes a design work from North Hydro to Grove. So it just talks about Snow Road, but it also includes a North Hydro, just a lot of paths. Any questions or comment? All in, yes? Yes, ma'am. Can you,
My name is Mary Herndon. I live on Mary Catherine. And as
do you mind if we bring that microphone to you, hon?
I couldn't hear you all.
The whole thing.
Anyway, my name is Mary Herndon. I live on Mary Catherine, right across from the school or playground. And I was just wondering what's the story on it? Do you have any more information? Has it been sold or just what's going on?
She's referencing the Van Buren property in West Willow that's been vacant for years. I don't have any information on that.
I don't know.
We heard a
I heard it
rumor.
was a church, but we don't know. This approval is not going to around that property, but you're saying because it's Van Buren Schools? Yeah, we can find out. I heard it was sold, but I don't know. I have not, no one's notified us or given us a contract, so we can find out. I heard it was a church that bought it, but it would, I don't even know if a church can be built there. That would have to go through planning commission and everything, so.
One other question, does general question, does the township board have any input in what Yucca, which is, I know that's a part of the township, one of the offices, do you have any say or whatever in what's going on with this flood situation?
YCUA, there was a bad flooding out there, and YCUA is handling it. We don't handle that. It's a separate authority, but we're aware of what's going on, and I'm not sure what you want us to say. We sit on the board, so we get emails and listen to concerns, of residents, and they actually do the process for getting reimbursed for the flooding.
We just, no, if I could add something. I know at last night's West Willow Association meeting, that issue came up, and we just recommended that folks either, because they said they weren't getting addressed, or they had questions or complaints. So we just encourage people either send or call Crystal Campbell, who's the neighborhood watch coordinator, or you could send them to Brenda or I or Larry, anybody on the board, and we could refer those to YCUA, because they're handling all those. But I know there was some issues, people were complaining that wasn't happening as fast as they wanted, or I don't.
Madam Chair? Yeah, and I agree with Clerk, that at the Westwell meeting, there was some residents basically that did not like the response that they were getting. I'm assuming it was from Cedric. So Cedric is the insurance adjuster for Yucca.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just
don't
know
handle.
that.
We have
I'm
no
not sure,
day-to-day
but
operation.
I know that it was discussed quite heavily last night.
Okay. So if you have a question, just let.
We just said we could refer them to the right people at YCUL. I mean, if there was,
And,
they didn't know exactly.
what was your name, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Herndon.
Herndon? Is it Herndon? Mrs. Herndon?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion and support to approve the OHM proposal, item number 7. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minus, no, that was the one before.
Change in the proposal,
Yes.
the letter.
Number A is request to approve agreement with OHM for geotechnical services in relation to the Civic Center pond in the amount of $6,850, which is budgeted in line item 101-956-000-801-000.
Move to approve.
Motion Rowe, support Doe. Questions or comment? So the results will be presented to the board, so everyone's informed on what the results are. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 9 is Resolution 2019-29, abandoned tax delinquent property.
So moved.
Support.
There's a motion by Rowe, support by Doe to approve the resolution. Questions or comment? At the end of this resolution, it also has 2018. So maybe it's on every one of them? Oh, it's the same one, I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize. All right. Questions or comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 10 is a resolution 2019-30, purchase tax foreclosed property located at 641 Green Lawn in the amount of $24,974, which is budget in line item 101-950-000-969-011 from the 2019 Washtenaw County Treasurer list of tax foreclosed properties under the first right of refusal.
Support.
Motion Rowe, support Wilson. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution approved. Number 11 is a request to approve the revised equipment lease agreement with the American Center for Mobility for the use of an Ypsilanti Township fire truck.
I would move that we approve the request, subject to the attorney's review and development of a one-year lease, that we include the real wages in there, and that the insurance gets right, and anything else that the attorney thinks needs to be in there.
So, support.
Madam Chair.
There's a motion by Rowe, support by Eldridge. Yes.
Just during the work session, I had a question about the wages, but Joe clarified that that cost includes, it was like an average including fringe benefits, and this would be more than enough to cover all of those things. So thank you for that clarification, Joe.
They're going to change, the motion is to change the agreement, so it's reflective with a chargeback. So he'll send an invoice, and whoever's working, that's exactly what they get charged, is what their benefits are and what their wages are.
Madam Chair, and it also will clarify the liability with the leasee, correct? Just want to make sure that's in
Yeah.
there. Okay. With the fire truck, which is our property.
Chief, do you want to explain this cool opportunity that we're doing? It sounds bad, but it's really a good opportunity.
With the ACM?
Yeah.
Talking? Yes. What this does, it allows us to assist with this initiative and utilize our fire trucks to do it. It also, he's requested that our staff would be the drivers of this. This would be an overtime assignment. This would not impact our daily staffing. This would be an additional assignment of staff, relocation of staff. And initially what he told me, he needed like a 5-day window, or he wanted to do the research over a 5-day window. They have a 2.5-mile track. He's looking at perhaps 50 times around during an 8-hour cycle. We're talking 125 miles on a vehicle. They would supply the fuel too. He says they have fuel on site. They just needed a driver and a vehicle there in order for them to do their research. I thought it'd be a great opportunity, not only for the fire service, but also for our board to collaborate with the ACM on this venture. So I bought it for you guys, and hopefully we can work out all the details and move on this quickly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, we're going to test a new technology for autonomous vehicles that are going to, perhaps a fire truck.
Fire truck
be
lights,
driving by itself,
sirens,
or-
and that kind of effect that it would
That's-
have on
yeah.
autonomous vehicles, yeah, the impact, yes. Yeah, it's great. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think my staff is looking forward to it also. Yeah, they were excited about it initially, so, yeah. Also, by the way,
Over there, what's going on?
I think it was last Sunday, we did the bump, we'll give them a break over at the ACM facility. Here, come.
breaks.
Come.
Last Sunday, Breaks, which is a teenage driving program put on by a former Top Fuel drag guy. We went out there. It's sponsored by Kia. We did an extrication demo for the teenagers and spoke to them about the different things that they should and shouldn't do on the while driving, how to get over out of emergency vehicles, if they get in an accident, the things we need to do. So all in all, it's a great program. I've got some teenagers that are going to be joining it next year, so it was very impressive what they did out there.
Awesome. Any other questions or comments?
Madam Chair.
This will be approved by the attorney, revised and
All
approved.
those things listed.
I just wanted to say I'm excited. I know I was a little downer. I just want to make sure we're like doing right by our firefighters. We are. So thank you, Chief, for bringing this forward, and I appreciate you guys coming tonight.
All right. We have a motion and support to approve this contingent upon the attorney's approval of the revised contract. Is that all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The number 12, let me see here. Can we move? Number 12 is a request to waive the financial policy and accept the low quote for the purchase of a new stock Spartan fire engine from Zahan Companies in the amount of $515,000, which is budgeted in line item 206-970-000-979-000, and there may be a request to amend this. So do you want to wait on the motion? Or do we, motion Doe, for purposes of discussion?
Support.
Support Eldridge.
This is in your packets, too.
Let me first introduce to my panel that came with me tonight. I have the fire marshal, I'm sure most of you are aware of, Dan Kimball, and Fred Anstad is a captain with our department. He has 18 years of service in the township. Both these gentlemen have served on our truck committee since I have come to the township, and I don't know prior to that when they served. Okay, just before that. So they were part of this committee research. Was performed by Fred and Dan, and there were 2 other firefighters as well. So I'm gonna let Fred take off here and explain us some things. We put together this little packet, this presentation, just to kind of bring you abreast of what your fleet is like for your fire trucks, and some of the research that went into us developing the specs for our fire truck based on some factors, and then we brought the project to you, the stock truck specs on that, and our recommendation finally in the end of this. But I'll let Fred explain some of this to you.
So this is our department fleet that we currently have now is the 2015 Spartan, the 2008 Crimsons, which are made by Spartan. They're just strictly called Spartan. There's no longer a Crimson. The 99 American LaFrancis and the 99 Spartan. A little over a year ago, we put this committee together and started doing research on knowing that we were going to need to replace a fire engine here pretty soon. The industry standard is around 10 years of actual frontline service or 100,000 miles, and then they can go into reserve roles, which they're not used as often. Maybe when a frontline truck breaks down, they can go into a mode. So that's kind of the background of our fleet and our age of our fleet that we have currently. That is the current truck that we're engine 14-4. It's at the Textile Road Station that we're currently asking to replace tonight. It's at 108,000 miles when that picture was taken. I'm sure it's up a few miles since then. So you can see it's at its frontline life per the industry standard and needing to be replaced. So down in Forest area, it's our largest service area. It's about 18 square miles. It's everything south of Ford Lake. So we have a little longer runs. We actually have a couple sections still in the township that are non-hydrogen. So this new truck that we're asking to purchase actually carries 250 more gallons of water than our current truck has in that area. And we're also starting to see some more calls of service down there as the population is now picking back up with the new growth, new housing being built and stuff like that. So we know that it's, more wear and tear on the current vehicle means more maintenance costs. So we're hoping to decrease some of that with the new engine as well. So we went out, like I said, we started a little over a year ago. 5 of us went to 5 different manufacturers, looked at their trucks, went through their trucks. Everything up until this point, Ypsilanti Township's always bought customized trucks, which are on the expensive side, but we could customize them exactly how our department needs them. This last April, I was at a trade show down in Indianapolis and was talking to a few salesmen, and they talked about these stock trucks, and they're not customized, but they're very similar to what we already have. So they're more conservatively priced. We were able to, it's a better price point than what we had initially looked at earlier. So that's kind of where we're at with.
What was the original price point? 7?
The original price point was like $650,000 for a fully customized truck. So these trucks that were coming, $515,000, I believe, is in your package. So that's everything it'll have. Allison transmission, 450 horse, Cummins motor, water pump, tank. Like I said, is 250 gallons bigger than the one currently used. Very similar to our current engine one that we also call Rosie out of our headquarters station. So that'll all be included. Plus, there's some new updated equipment that will come with this truck that we're replacing the thermal imaging camera that's currently 14 years old. So that's an expense that comes with it, but it's definitely the technology is updated with the thermal imaging cameras that we use to go in and search for people if they're trapped inside their house or to find hidden fire that's in between walls or stuff like that. So definitely a needed piece of equipment that we need to upgrade to. This talks more about its stock item. It's all pre-constructed. So they build, Spartan builds about 15 to 20 stock trucks a year. That way they can keep their costs down. Everything's built the same. There's no variations, and then and go from there. So that's one of the ways to do that. Again, we talked some more about the stock unit, and here's some the pricing on it. It's $447,500. We're going to have to do about $50,000 in equipment and a couple changes to better meet our department needs. So total, and then so there's a total cost of $515,000. Same slide, yep. And then here's just some comparisons. We went off the HGAC website, which we talked to you about a few months ago. So here's E1, who makes a fire truck very similar to ours. Is out the door with the upgrades that we would have to do is $530,000. Pierce has one very similar, would be $576,000. And then Schmiel, which is a subsidiary of Spartan, and I don't know why, but they're even more expensive at $521,000. So you can see where we've did our research and trying to be as conservative as we can for the township to save them the most money. Yes, ma'am.
So where did the price for this one come from?
This is their price from the salesman.
No, but I mean,
So
is
it's
it the
for-
last meeting when we talked about we did that big old thing to go with that group
Yep.
out of Texas, but this isn't out of the Texas
No,
group?
that was just some pricing that we got. Those were custom trucks, and these are the stock units that are already come pre-built. You get these options with it. And this truck, this
So
truck.
did you not know about that when you brought the HG Texas
It
thing?
really wasn't talked about as much. And like I said, I went in April and I met with the salesman down at the trade show, and that's where he brought it to my attention. So that's where the idea came from, and now they actually have a truck out in South Dakota.
It's kind of like, I never have understood buying fire trucks, because I've always said, why can't they do this? Why don't you just have a truck rolling off, and like when we go buy a car, you pick out the one. So this is kind of like that, right?
Right.
I mean, they're making, how many did you say they're making a year?
About 15 to 20, and everything else is custom. Each manufacturer makes about 100 to 150 trucks a year, so about 15 to 20 are these stock demo or stock units.
This is kind of like a new thing, right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever did this
It's
before,
called the
right?
S180 program that Spartan came out with.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. Yes.
I want to make sure you were done for your presentation first.
Yeah.
Okay, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Thank you.
Trustee Ross Williams?
Okay, so I have some questions.
Yep.
So some of them may be against fund balance, I want to make sure. So, so the truck itself, stock unit, is $447,500. After the upgrades is $515,000. So my question is, how does that work against the fund balance? Does it go against fund balance for fire? How does that affect it?
The 515 allocated is actually under budget
For the 2019 year,
for the 2000, what we budgeted in 2019. So we come in
about $10,000.
about 10,000 under.
Okay, so that would be, I might as well say a wash with fund balance if it's coming in under? or
That's
no?
already budgeted for 2019 in the
Okay.
fire fund. So
Okay,
we
so
have
it's also a line.
525,000 budgeted there for purchase of a fire truck in 19.
Okay,
So that one is already budgeted, it's in there, so they're coming under that amount.
okay, thank you. That was question number one. Thank you so much. Now, question number two was basically that if I have it correct, there's 108,000 miles that's on this truck. Has those miles basically, at least within the past couple of years, have they been put on with help with the mutual aid? Just curious.
I'm sure some of them have. Station 4 isn't one of the trucks that really responds to a lot of the mutual aid like we do to Ypsi City and Superior. That's our Hewitt Road station and our main station on Ford Boulevard. But yeah, it's definitely impacted because it is a longer run miles-wise from down here.
Okay. And then I noticed that you had a number of different trucks, like for, sorry, let me go back. Obviously, this was the 2008 Gladiator.
Yep.
Right. But there's two of them that are 11 years old that are the same truck. So why, I guess one is Frontline E14.3 and the other one is E14.4. So why this one? And basically, why not? Well, those are reserve trucks, so that's answering that question. So, yeah.
The reason why we chose 4 was we looked at the maintenance history over the last couple of years, and 4's been a little harder to maintain, and it's cost us a little more money. So the original plan was to replace this one first, and then next year do 14.3.
Okay.
If I may bring it up, we just found out tonight from the salesman that they have another stock truck that will be available at the same time as this one. And we were wondering if if we could possibly purchase the second vehicle tonight as well. We know we don't have it budgeted, and we would have to borrow from the fund, the general fund, and then pay it back with the millage that we have that was approved last year. But this would save us a lot of maintenance money. I'm in charge of the maintenance and fleet. It would save us some maintenance money getting 2 trucks at the same time. They're both, like you said, 11 years old. The engine 14.3 is like at 107,000 miles. It's not much less. So that would be an option maybe. That would be up to you guys.
So my question with that would be, and then I'll be done, which I'm not saying that this would even happen, but if 2 trucks are being purchased at the same time with I'm assuming the price would be around, again,
Yep.
$515,000.
Yes, ma'am.
You would think that maybe if, again, this is if, because I'm not sure if the board is even going in this direction, but would there be some type of discount that's available for purchasing 2 trucks of that amount at the same time? It should be.
We could look into that. It's been that way in the past. I'm not sure how it would work with these being stock trucks, so they've already
Right.
got their price lowered. We do know that if we go to purchase the same truck next year, that it will cost somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 more because of the steel tariff prices keep going up and stuff like that. They've already told us that. So
Okay.
it would be a savings now versus if we had to purchase the same truck next year at this time.
Okay, so that goes back to you, Giovanna, about
Yeah.
fund balance, sorry, and then I'll give up the mic. If there was 2 trucks purchased at the same time, how does that affect fund balance?
So we would have to do a budget amendment, and I did do a revised one, so if it so suited the board, I already went ahead and did a revised budget amendment to include that $515,000 from the general fund to purchase it, and then the fire department would have to pay the general fund back in installments.
Okay.
I did that anticipating your needs. If you don't want that, then we don't have to do the revised budget amendment, but I do have that in there, so if you so thought about doing something like that, it would be prepared for you.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Eldridge?
I just have a couple. Why the waiving of the financial policy when in the packet you give us pricing from other competitors, but there's no breakdown pricing for us to compare like we would do with other vendors? So why waive it?
We've talked to the other vendors. We know that this is their lower pricing. The last truck we bought, the 2015, we had them do that. And we have come up with the truck that we designed, and we know that this is the lowest price we're going to get, even if we have them build out the same truck through the other vendor.
It's just a technical thing. It wasn't, our policy would be that you put together all this spec. They'd come to us and get authorization to bid. They didn't do that. and they would put together bid specs, and then it's all sealed bids. They didn't do that. They went out and got quotes. That's
Quotes.
why the wording is waive the policy, because they're not following the policy.
Sorry.
The policy, which we looking to change, because there is 3 competitive quotes, but because our policy says we have to formally bid it, every time we just get 3 quotes, we have to formally waive the financial policy.
Just trying to be consistent,
Yeah.
because everybody else, we make them bring us documents to look at, or we have in the past. And we're not doing it that time, and talking over $500,000. So that was the first question.
Can I elaborate
Sure.
on that one more second? The other thing we've, talking to these vendors is if they really feel that you're not going to go with their business, they're not going to turn in a bid because it's hundreds of hours compiling these bid specs for these trucks.
Well,
And we've had that told to us, so that's kind of why we did the quote.
and not that you did it,
Yeah.
but that makes me feel like I'm being strong-armed then.
I
Which
totally,
I don't like.
I totally,
And I won't
I
go
totally
to 'em.
understand, but that's kind of where
Okay.
the business has went this time, and
Well,
we try to keep it as conservative as possible. We're not,
Okay.
I mean, there's fire engines out there that are a lot more money, and we're really keeping it on the conservative side.
and my second question would be, as I read through this document, it speaks to at least they speak to, I don't know if it's the industry standard, as you mentioned, was 10 years. In their own documents, they mentioned 12 to 15-year lifespan.
That's a typo on my part. We corrected that, and I didn't get it fixed in the PowerPoint presentation. That's actually my paper in Staff and Command right now, and the NFPA is fire truck maintenance and preventative maintenance. And actually, NFPA 1911 has just kind of revised that into the 10-year front line.
Okay, so this PowerPoint's yours, not theirs?
Correct.
Gotcha, okay.
So it's 12 to 15, or is it 10?
It's closer to the 10 now is what NFPA is going with, especially with the 100,000 miles on them.
Okay. Chief or Fred or anyone else, is there any of the equipment off of the vehicle you want to replace that's salvageable to keep using? I see the equipment pricing but that you want. I see equipment pricing and modifications, but none of that's broke down by pricing or why we're getting rid of the old camera. Is that camera still valuable in some sense for training purposes or anything?
Yeah, we'll keep it for training purposes, but
Okay.
the screen is shot on it, and it's really not replaceable. It's outdated equipment. They don't even service them really anymore because they're outdated.
It's 15 years old.
Yes, there'd be some equipment that will come off the current 3 and 4 and get put on the new trucks, and then, but they will still stay in the reserve mode.
Now, as you go farther into the PowerPoint, it goes back to papers with their heading on. I'm guessing that that's their information.
Yes,
Okay. So I was trying to go through it. It's 132 pages total.
correct.
And I was trying to find all the different stops where there were warranty information, guidelines. Because I've heard that this one is costing us a lot in maintenance. And my question was going to be well, I don't know what the warranty is, but some of this here says 10 years.
Correct. Paint
So if
warranty
it's-
is 10 years,
is that
motor is
fairly-
5 years.
Okay, is that fairly common in the industry, 10 years?
Yes.
And so if our truck's 11 years, how did our maintenance costs get so high already?
Our maintenance costs on the 2008 Crimsons, they actually had a 2009 motor put them in, and that's when the EPA changed the standard and made us go with the diesel particulate filters for a cleaner exhaust.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we were supposed to get the 2008 motor, but the purchase order didn't get put in time, and that has caused us nothing but issues from Caterpillar Motors. We no longer go with Caterpillar Motors, we're going with Cummins.
Okay.
And they've changed the other system into a DEF fluid system versus a filter.
And so as I tried to read through this, I find now that there are multiple statements that speak to warranties on different parts of the truck.
Correct.
I'm not really worried about the warranty on the paint so much as I am what's the warranty on the engine. I see the transmission.
The engine and transmission are 5 years each.
Okay.
The paint is 10 years. There's a bumper-to-bumper 2-year warranty on the truck. So anything that happens in the first 2 years is bumper-to-bumper warranty.
Okay.
And I believe the pump, I believe it's 1 year. It could be 2. Well, 2 obviously bumper-to-bumper, but, and I believe there's an additional year or 2 after the bumper-to-bumper warranty.
Okay. My concern so much is the warranty. So as I get to last page, and I'm trying to get there, it's 132. It speaks to a 36-month warranty. And then they never detail in here what the exact warranty is. I don't know if the attorney has seen it yet, but they keep referencing the attachments. Whereas the full warranty is in the attachments, but I don't have the attachments or that I can find. And so when you say it's a 2 or a 5 or a 10 on different parts, and at the end they speak to a 36, but they also make 2 references throughout this document that the full warranty verbatim, word to word, is attached, but I can't find it.
I must not printed that off. I
Okay.
apologize.
So that just leads to a little bit of concern if we're having maintenance issues, so.
And it's right now, it is just a proposal. We do not have
Correct.
we don't have an agreement.
We do not have an agreement at this time.
And so my
So a lot of
last,
stuff you're asking, maybe that would be an agreement. I don't know.
and so my last question was going to be, at the very start of the document, I see that you received it from them on June 5th. It says you have 30 days to respond to hold this pricing. Is this something that we could take time and look at? Because I think we're meeting again the first week in July. That still keeps you within the 30 days to get that pricing, but gives the attorney time to look at it for warranty information legalities, and maybe just, pardon?
And actually drop an agreement that we vote on.
Correct. So that was just going to be I'm not opposed to it, I just would like to take a little bit more time with the $500,000 and possibly $1 million.
With these being stock trucks, these are actually available to everybody and anybody who wants to purchase them, so they could actually sell them tomorrow, and then we would not, then we'd have to wait another, whenever their next start.
Okay, so the fact that they sent a letter on June 5th and it says in the letter you have 30 days, they're not going to hold that truck?
No.
That's
Not
even,
till-
that's,
Not till they have a purchase agreement.
that's, yeah. I want you to have the new truck, but that's worrisome if that's the kind of company we're dealing with.
We have the 2015 Spartan, it's the same company, and we've had little to no issues with that truck whatsoever.
Well, the fact that they won't hold it, you're already a valued customer.
I agree.
And now they won't hold it for you, even though they've given you a document that says you have 30 days to make the purchase. It's in the very first letter.
Sales, yeah.
I'm sorry?
I think it says on that document that it's subject to a prior sale. So these are like first come, first serve. These trucks are here, and please come get them, or if someone else, another municipality shows up and would like them, then they would sell them to them.
It says it's prepared to manufacture one for you, yeah, as opposed to one that's already available.
Right.
That,
Madam Chair, how long,
Say what you just said.
It's somewhere we have it.
I just want, how long,
trustee,
how long does it take to build one? Like, let's just say somewhere else takes them all. How long does it take to build one of these stock
This is called the
trucks?
S-180 model, so 180 days from time of purchase agreement.
Point of clarification. If this is the same letter, the bid proposal that trustee Eldridge is talking about, the last sentence on the bid proposal says, unless accepted within 30 days from this date, the right is reserved to withdraw this proposal. If that's the case, then, I mean, I'm not an attorney, I'll refer to Attorney Winters. That says that this price and this truck, in my opinion, holds for 30 days. If nothing happens after that date, or before, nothing happens within a 30-day period, on day 31, they can take this and move the truck to someone else. Now, am I reading that wrong, or, I don't know.
well, just for a point of clarification,
Yeah.
the first sentence says,
Yeah.
the undersigned is prepared to manufacture for you upon an order. And what these gentlemen are saying is that there's already one already manufactured and ready to go.
Okay,
That's the difference in the letter.
okay, thank you.
I don't know, it's still not an agreement,
Right.
so all the other issues that Stan raised, still stand, but you see it, hopefully I clarified that.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know if you were calling me. So I'm trying to understand, so what is this truck going to replace? The 1990?
Right, yeah.
Okay, and then there's another asterisk by the 2008. What does that mean?
That's the truck that we're currently going to replace with the purchase of the
Can you
new
speak
truck.
into the microphone?
Okay,
So the 1990 is going to be replaced, that's going to be retired. And then the new
This,
truck,
this truck will replace the
the
1990.
new, no, this truck would replace the 2008 that has the asterisk.
So you're just going to get rid of the 1990 no matter
Yes,
what?
Yeah,
And you said something that kind of threw me out. The 2008s that we purchased,
Mm-hmm.
because we were trying to get in without that new law. Are you saying that we didn't get in?
Chief Morabito did not get the
I
proposal.
did not-
Chief Morabito did not
I
get
did
the proposal.
not know that until this
Yeah,
day. Like,
sorry.
how many years later?
Yeah, Chief Morabito didn't get the proposal in
I
on
did
time.
not know that. And you're
uh,
saying that's why we have so many problems, because it's
Yeah.
the first out of the chute with the new
Absolutely,
technology. I
yes.
know, I've heard that on so,
Absolutely, it has been a
my son works on
nightmare.
robotics, and they have to bring in these huge generators, I mean, huge.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same issue, because the new ones had to, and they don't work.
Right.
Caterpillar quit making over-the-road
So-
engines for that very reason.
My other question is probably more to Giovanna. So the fire department owes us now. How much they still owe us for the other fire truck we bought? The general fund. They owe the general fund. Do you guys know, or do you know, Chief? Or-
It should be paid up because it's 2000.
I think it's 6 years remaining on that at about 50.
Pardon?
I believe there is 6 years remaining on that payment schedule for.
So is there going to be funds to pay that? Because, I mean, we just have a lot of stuff we need to do out of the general fund. I mean, a lot.
I believe the amount is, I want to say 215,000 that they still owe.
So if, let's say it's just hypothetically, if the board agreed to purchase two, they're going to owe us over 700 and some thousand, and how fast can they pay that back when you add those two together?
Well, they did get the new capital millage, so we could get that next year. For 2020, we could take the purchase of the truck that
The
we're
whole
doing now.
700, the old truck and this truck?
Not, the old one we can do as well. I mean, I think they might have enough funds for that, but we've got that actually coming back from the motor pool. So we could pay that off in a more accelerated amount. It was on a 10-year period, but at the end of the year, if there's extra in the motor pool, I push that back into the general fund to help pay for that.
And then okay, so if I understand it right, you think there might be enough in there now to pay off what they owe us, the 200-some thousand in their fund?
I'd have to look that up. That's already, that's kind of been a thing since 2015. We've just had them paying back from the motor pool, because we actually had the motor pool pay for it.
When did we levy the millage?
That was last year, so this
And
is,
we did the parking lot. That's like the only thing we've
2019
done,
is,
right?
2019 is the first year for the capital funds. So they didn't have that last year for the parking lot.
Oh, so we paid that out of their regular money?
Exactly.
So there probably should be enough, right?
Well, it should be, but I
Pay
don't
the
want to say
200
that until
know,
I
know.
run the numbers.
So
So
anyways, let's say hypothetically, if there is enough, we'd pay that off. We could pay
Correct.
that off to the general fund, and then the 500,000, we wouldn't have enough levied until we levy at the end of this year for next year?
for 2020,
So, yeah, so they could technically pay it off January.
well, we'd have to wait till
February,
settlement.
March. Well, whenever the
Have to get some money.
March, when the settlement,
Yeah,
sorry.
tax settlement, so we have to wait till the taxes
Tax-
come in, yes.
So closer to June. So
Yeah.
6 months, we would float them to buy, if we buy two.
Yes.
If not, it's budgeted, there's enough in there to do that.
Correct. They
500,000,
have
but you
enough,
don't know
they
if
have
there's
enough in
to
there
pay
for
off-
2019 to pay for one.
But we don't know if there's enough in there to pay off the 200 and some thousand that they owe us before we buy two more trucks. Or buy another truck.
Buy another one, yes.
Thanks.
They saved $10,000 by buying this.
Trustee Eldridge?
I just have one more question, Chief, if I could. We're buying, I heard you right, we're buying this from Spartan companies, but the paperwork said we're buying it from Zahan companies. And the only reason I ask is, the guy that signed the document is the owner of the car. So are we buying it from that guy, or are we buying it from the company? Because it's two different things.
Zanon Sales is the sales company that
Right.
is the distributor here in Michigan for us. It is a Spartan company.
And he's the one pushing for the quick timeline on this. Not necessarily the company, but the guy. I'm confused because the paperwork says Spartan, the letterhead is Spartan. It's signed by Michael Zahan.
He's a representative of Spartan, being a salesman for Spartan, owning his Zanon Sales and Service. So he sells for Spartan fire trucks. It's a Spartan bid proposal because it's a Spartan truck.
Okay, but we're buying it from Zahan companies.
Yep.
Okay.
Out of Dakota somewhere or something?
No, out of Michigan.
They're out of Greenville, Michigan.
Right, we're buying it from a person in Michigan.
It's made in South Dakota.
He's the sales rep for Spartan.
So,
He's a,
I only asked,
I guess I guess the proper term is he's a Spartan dealer based here in Greenville, Michigan.
okay.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're going to say, but I want to ask. And
Okay.
thank you, Fred, for being so, I've learned more about fire trucks from you in the last 20 minutes than anyone else, but
Thank you.
thank you. Talking about, I'm never a board member that likes to be pushed under the gun to make a decision about anything. You can ask Mike about our generator conversation last time. But, how important is it to you to replace this truck now or to wait until July 2nd? I hear you that other municipalities could come, but we have other trucks in reserve, so, what kind of impact would that have on you guys?
For me personally, it speeds up the timeline to get these trucks in here so we reduce our maintenance costs. That's my overall goal. Like I said, I'm in a staff and command class for Eastern Michigan, and that's what I'm doing my paper on right now. These current trucks are nickel and diming us. Knowing that they could be sold to anybody if we don't get a purchase agreement in.
Yeah.
I don't like to be under the gun either. I don't operate that way. However, I don't want to wait another 180 days. If we say we get a purchase agreement at the beginning of July, it's another 180 days that we'd have to wait for another fire truck, and who knows what else can go wrong.
And hypothetically, if the board did approve this tonight, how soon would this truck be here?
I originally thought it would be about 45 days, but after I looked at the timeline, it'd be somewhere between the 60 and 90-day range to get it back, to get the equipment the extra equipment that we purchased to get mounted on there. We're also having a couple cabinets put inside the cabs that don't come on the stock model, just for more storage, to carry more equipment that we have to carry on our engines.
All right. And then just for a point of information, if anyone's interested, Brandon, South Dakota is 821 miles away. Fun fact for all of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair, I just had one more. Fred, if I heard you correctly, so this truck that they have that's ready, with the modifications, would still take upwards of 90 days on the high end?
Correct, because we still have to order some of the equipment that we're
Sure.
getting. That takes time. They have to come in. We're going to have 2 cabinets fabricated that doesn't come with it. Usually when you do a custom truck, they'll fabricate anything extra within. It's built right along the assembly line with it.
Okay.
So this has to come in. We have to have a fabricator build the cabinets to store our EMS and our bulletproof vests and stuff like that in them. So, that just takes time.
Sure.
And
So-
plus, once, we still have to go out and do a final inspection on them. I won't go out there, and I would not have it delivered here in Michigan without doing an inspection out there to make sure there's nothing wrong, no paint blemishes, anything like that.
Sure, no, I get that. So 60 to 90 days, using 90 days, if we were to get this truck and okay it tonight, if we were to wait just a bit till June 2nd till we get the agreements written up, the legal people look at it, and they sell this truck, we're still only looking at an extra 90 days then, because it's 6 months. So you're really only talking a 90-day difference, not a 6-month difference.
Well, you are talking, because, it's still going to come off the line the exact same way if we do the 180-day plan, and then it still has to get sent back here to Greenville to have the equipment added to it. It won't be as long because the equipment can be ordered, but you're still going to have some fabrications made once it gets back to Greenville, Michigan.
Okay.
If I could just chime in for a moment, they have always wanted to purchase the 2 trucks, but the custom trucks that they were looking at was much more expensive than what the stock trucks are.
Correct.
And the opportunity came up for the stock truck, and then today the opportunity came up for the second one. So they've always wanted to replace those 2 this year.
We've kind of always done
The
that.
budget would not sustain that.
Let me ask the question, but what did it cost? Wasn't it like 700 or some thousand?
It was 650,
Paid for the 2015.
the 2015 was 594,000.
And this is 515.
Correct.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Yes, point of information.
594.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm reading this right. So
Yes, ma'am.
these may be clarifying questions, sorry
Yes,
about
no,
this. Okay, so the bid proposal says, at the bottom of the address, it says it's from South Dakota. But Mr. Michael Zarin?
Zanin.
He's from Michigan?
Yes, he's from.
Okay, where is that reflected? Maybe I'm missing that in the paperwork. Okay.
Well, there's no agreement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Not a
that's
lot of
just the
paperwork.
proposal.
Okay, got you. That's why it doesn't reflect
We would
Michigan.
clarify the
okay.
we would clarify the language and have all that, I mean, in the purchase agreement, so.
Okay.
I have past purchase agreements, I can show you
Right.
how those are done.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then secondly, I'm just speaking on behalf of myself here. If there's two, and again, I don't know what the board's going to do, but if there's two fire trucks that's being purchased at the same time, this board member would need to see a discount of some sort on that before she votes for it. So I'm just saying that's me, because I mean, we're talking almost close to $1 million. That's a lot of money, and they need to be given a discount for that.
Okay. I would have to make a phone call to the salesman. If you'd like me to do
So
that
it
now, I
sounds like the
can.
biggest issue is that we don't have an agreement.
We
Like
can't
that's
have an
kind-
agreement until we have a purchase order.
We have to know what we're purchasing, right?
We have
I'm
the
just
bid
trying to-
proposal, right, I understand. That's why we have the bid proposal and the specs went out.
But not the warranty, so you could, we have other agenda items, maybe you have it? Do you have that warranty information?
I should have it on my computer back at the station. I'd have to go get it.
Chief, what do you,
Do you have it on your computer?
I believe I uploaded the specifications, the same thing, document that you have. It should be part of your packet.
It's in there.
It's in there. It's the 160-page document, yeah.
that's not the contract though, right? That's just the
Yeah.
specification.
Madam Chair.
I think,
And it
Mr.
has
Winters,
the warranty information, some warranty information in it.
I think in the past, we did have this warranty information and more of a contract.
I think that would be part of the purchase agreement. though. That's part of the purchase agreement. This is just a proposal.
Attorney Winters?
See if we can come back with it.
Well, I would just maybe preface this with the spirit of what we're all trying to accomplish here, but I would say that over the years, the things I've kind of come to regret the most are the things, both personally and professionally, that I do in haste. And I'm saying that because I asked Karen today, I said, where's this contract at? And I mean, I saw the specifications and everything, but it was kind of a little bit unusual arrangement from what I'm used to seeing when I've done the contracts. And I was trying to do a matrix myself of all the different warranties, and I was getting dizzy by going back and forth on the 132-page document and everything. And so probably there are more questions that I can maybe even answer myself this evening. The one thing, Fred, you said I had written down that I noticed on page 75 is that they said no final inspection unless otherwise specified. Is that what you were getting at when you said you were going to go out to South Dakota?
Yeah, we specified it in the,
For two people to go.
for two people. It's on,
No, I was asking.
Specify it?
it's,
It's added in the modification.
modifications.
Just out of
Slide
curiosity.
8 or 9.
That's our request to do that, though, correct? I think everybody up here wants to see you get a fire truck, okay? Everyone wants to get it. I don't mean to interrupt you, Doug, but you put that on your PowerPoint presentation, but I don't have anything in front of me that says they've agreed to that, especially when the document says no other final inspections.
The number the salesman gave us reflects us going to South Dakota through the modification. I understand it's not in the bid proposal. We will update that, but that is part of,
That was Doug's whole point, right?
Yeah, and I think right now that over the years, I know I think we've dealt with the company in Greenville before, I believe.
that is correct.
And I think I saw some of the contracts. I remember going through some of the issues with them, and I tried my best to go through and try to figure out the matrix for the warranty. I know there's different months and years for different parts of the vehicle. It's beyond my pay grade to try and explain, but I would feel more comfortable trying to have truly a document that would have all this in one written format that might have exhibits of the proposal, or I mean, the exhibits of the specifications attached as exhibits. I just don't know exactly what to do with this evening beyond just knowing that, as Trustee Williams, Monica Ross Williams pointed out, it does seem to be kind of an offer that says we will set aside this one for 30 days, but then I think we're talking about maybe a different one that's ready than what I'm looking at. There's 2 trucks involved here.
Correct.
And one's ready to go with no reserve to it, I believe. The one I'm looking at seems to have a reservation for 30 days, and if you accepted it, it would be built within 90 to 120 days. Am I reading that correctly?
It would be delivered here in Michigan to 90, I think, but I just talked to the salesman. They believe we can get it to 60 to 90 days, so 90 days.
So the one before us, at least right now, the one that started the conversation, it was a June 5th letter, 30 days saying unless accepted within 30 days from this date, the right is reserved to withdraw this proposal. That would be Mr. Zahn's right as the Spartan representative to withdraw this, but it seems like we have some time to get the information together to at least get this one under wraps here. I'm not sure exactly who has the contract or who has the proposal. I've seen them in the past.
We just have a bid proposal for this truck. Like I said, it's a stock truck, so we didn't write any of the specifications. This is what they build. They sell it as a stock truck. This is just their bid proposal that they sent out, and we have got the cost of $447,500, and then we talked to the salesman about the equipment and the modifications, and that was the total price.
So they want their check at when it's delivered in full? Is that what?
That's usually an agreement.
Yes. That's how we've done it in the past. That's how we did it with the 2008, if I remember correctly, is when the trucks were delivered is when they were paid. Is that correct, Doug? Wasn't there an issue about the delivery time, and I think that's when they got paid?
Yeah, there was a lot of issues at the time, and that was one of them. But the warranty was another issue about, some warranty issues, I think, also at the time. In regards, I can't remember all the details, but we had some issues with them at the counter, as I recall. But I'd like to see more information, more clarity on the warranties, because I know there's different warranties for different parts of this vehicle that, and maybe it's all in this proposal. I just can't seem to really see that matrix or something that would actually help me understand what these warranties are and the agreement itself.
I just had a question.
Go ahead and say that.
Chairperson. Fred, I had a question. It's like, okay, since you had all these, did you have these numbers in April, or you just heard about it in April?
No, when I was at the trade show in Indianapolis is when when I talked to a couple different salesmen about stock units, and I come back and started doing my research on them and took them to our committee.
So there's other people that did stock too?
Yes. And that was kind of what.
Other than Spartan?
Yes.
You always wanted a Spartan, right?
Well, it's just because that's what we're familiar with, and and from everything that we've learned and going to the different vendors, is they're always more cost effective.
Yeah, right. It's like Stan said, I don't think anybody's against it. I personally am all about buying the 2, if that's going to work. But I also agree with Monica, there ought to be something reflected in that cost if you're buying 2. But at the same time, the reason this is so hard is because nothing that we're doing is like our policy.
Okay.
So we're trying to you know what I mean?
I understand.
We're trying to
I do understand.
Not that the firefighters buying a fire truck or not the fire has ever been in a policy, because it's always been weird, because it's almost like this, when you design the specs, if I understand it right, you're almost picking one vendor anyways, because if you want a Cummins, only one person makes the Cummins or 2, so it's always been weird. That's always been weird. So but this is even weirder than that weird. So I'm having a hard time with it. But I don't know if there's any other way to secure the costs on that. I mean, you heard Stan say something. I don't know if other people are about buying the 2 if we can get a better deal. I don't know if that's good enough. I don't know if you need a motion, to take back to them. But I also agree that we really got to, and I don't know. I would trust Doug enough to say, but subject to him working out, with you guys the thing and make the motion that way. But I don't know how other people feel about that. So. Did earlier tonight on some other stuff.
I just had one other question, or Chief, I don't know who. The proposal they have in here, this fire apparatus proposal, is that just a standard stock document they send out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so none of your modifications are in that document?
That is correct.
Okay, because I just wondered, because it's got a February 21st
Yeah.
date.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's just a general, that's how they send out for the stock units, the bid proposal.
All right. Well, again, I support buying it. I just feel more comfortable if I had paperwork in front of me. Because we're already violating what I would say is the policy.
Well, we're not violating, the motion's to waive.
Well, right.
I guess the other question, how do other people feel about buying the two, or should we just focus on the one?
Madam Chair, I'm sorry.
She's not here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Basically, I'm just going to let my thoughts about it is, I, again, need to see the discount. I need to see that before I vote on it. I'm not okay with waiving the financial policy the way this sits right now. My question is, if there would be a way to go back to Mr. Zannern and before the July 2nd meeting, he can present information to the board, if anyone's interested, in regards to what is the invoice? You know, truck number 1, truck number 2, discount on buying 2 trucks, with the information, I guess, obviously with the additional features on it. I would need to see that because right now, I'm just saying for me as a board member, it feels as if I'm given agreements to do something and I don't have an actual invoice. I don't have exactly, I mean, I know we have a proposal, but I don't have the invoice. So for me, I would have to, I'm just going to say I would have to table it right now until I see some more information.
If it
Some point
pleases,
of information, the board, we don't get invoices at the board. What we would get is a purchase, like this bid proposal could be turned into one.
yeah.
With a lot of work by Mr. Winters, but
Thank you.
If I
no
could,
problem.
I'm not necessarily concerned, I shouldn't say it that way. I'm not sure we're going to get a discount. It might be like Saturn. The sticker price you see is the sticker you get, and I'm okay with that. I would just feel more comfortable with a little bit more of an agreement, a legal agreement or document that's in place. I'm not opposed to the price or 2 trucks at all. I would just feel more comfortable if we had the documents. As the attorney mentioned, moving in haste always ends up in a bad place.
Could we make a motion to say that for all intents and purposes, we want to purchase the 2 and make it totally subject to an agreement that would be brought back to us if that's enough for you to save your 2 trucks? I don't know.
I would have to call.
I mean, he's not here, so we don't know. But I mean, that might be the best that we can do. Yeah, I don't even know if anybody agrees with that.
If it pleases the board, what
It's
I would
already
like to
10
do is to take that suggestion, to try to come back, let's say at the July 2nd meeting, with a purchase agreement, hopefully for the 2 trucks, and that it would entail the warranty information that the attorney is requesting, as well as some more specifics. It would be in a purchase agreement form.
Like an agreement.
For your approval.
An agreement that Doug approves
Correct.
before it's here.
I would be happy to do that as long as there's a purchase agreement. Okay. I can't just spend $1 million without writing something.
I'll get a purchase.
I can't even spend $10 without something in writing, chief, so.
I'll solicit
Yeah.
a purchase agreement that should contain the discounts. We'll go to work to get the discounts, if available. We'll bring back that proposal, as well as some of the maintenance and
guess-
the other concerns that the board has.
Just to clarify for what I'm saying, and I'm sure that Doug is channeling my inner thought right now, but it's not really about the discount. I want to hear about the discount, but what I want is what are we buying? What are we committing to? What does that relationship and agreement look like? I want a purchase agreement, not anything else. I don't want any other, I love your presentation so much, but I want a purchase agreement. Okay. I didn't mean to clap in the thing.
Well, I would offer a motion to say that for all intents and purposes, that we agree to enter into a future agreement with Spartan, Mr. Michael Zan, to purchase 2, what do they call it? Spartan Metro Star custom chassis with a flat roof, one, and the 2-balloon body with a 1,000-gallon poly booster tank, and the 1,500 GPM water single stage pump, all subject to an agreement that will be brought back on July 2nd that's very specific that our attorneys are. That's my motion.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Is there clarity, Mr. Winters?
I think we need a contract or purchase agreement that will set forth the basic terms of what we're purchasing and how much, how it's warranted, some type of expectation as to the delivery date, and confirmation that they will be inspected.
Warranty.
It sounds like one's going to be built, one's already to be delivered.
They're both ready.
They both have been built right now?
Yeah, they're real, I mean, they're getting their final touches on them right now. They're both within probably a week or 2 weeks of being, I know one is done and one is real close.
And they'll be delivered to Greenville? Is that where they're
We have
picked
to
up?
run the final inspection sometime in July. It'll be July before, obviously after the July 2nd board meeting, we'll go out and do a final inspection and then bring them back.
And just
At the same time?
I just want to make a point of clarification. That motion I made, in no way, that's not the agreement.
Right.
It's just, I mean, I just allows us you to proceed, talk to them, work with Doug, because we really don't want to pay for everybody that's going to be involved in doing all this work unless we agree that our intent is to do it. So it's kind of like we're authorizing you to go to bid or kind of at this time. And then the agreement, the purchase itself, the final thing, the contract's going to come back on July 2nd, hopefully,
I will try to have that by the end of the week.
if the board agrees.
If you could speak in the microphone, that would help. Yes, Trustee Eldridge?
Just Attorney Winters, I'll try to have that agreement to you by the end of the week.
Trustee Eldridge?
Well, I listened to the explanation just now, and now I'm thoroughly confused. If it takes that long for us to figure out how we're going to make a motion, can't we just simply say this is tabled until July 2nd, and the chief will have the documents at that time? I think we all agree, it's on the record that we want to buy 2 trucks. Can't it just simply be a tabling motion until July 2nd when he comes back?
I was thinking he might want more.
Well, they can pull our verbatim minutes and see that our intent is to buy 2, but we simply just table it. The chief suggested that.
I'm good with we're good with bringing it back July 2nd.
So is that a motion?
Yes, it is.
We have a motion to table. Is there
Support.
Support.
Supposed to be on vacation.
We have a support to table. And roll call vote.
Yes.
Rowe.
Yes.
Eldridge. Ross Williams.
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe.
Yes.
Stumbo.
Yes.
Rowe, and Wilson.
Yes.
The item is tabled until July 2nd. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who seconded it?
Mon-
Yeah, oh, thank you.
One question, the special meeting on July 2nd, is that a morning meeting or?
It's a regular scheduled meeting on Tuesday that we hold for business, like, so
It's 5 o'clock.
5
Work
o'clock.
session. so-
it's the same.
Same, thank you.
Okay, number 13 is a request to approve the resolution establishing authorized signatures for merged contracts and service credit purchase approval.
So
To
moved.
approve.
Motion Rose, support Doe. Is there questions on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 2 is the L4029 request.
Support.
Motion to approve the request for the L4029. Questions or comment? This is how we start our budget process. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 16 is the request, or 15, I'm sorry, request approval of agreement with Washington Community College for Extension Center offerings for the period of July 1st, 2019 to June 2nd, June 30th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion Rose, support Ross Williams. Mr. Winters, have you had a chance to look at that?
This has been a kind of unusual night of agreements, so we are
Yes?
kind of looking at.
Yes, it has?
It's the same as last year's, a change in the,
Actually,
I'm trying to understand exactly as to how this works with from our standpoint of liability.
let's do the regular one.
I don't know exactly as to where their language is about insurance or how they indemnify us for this building, or whether or not we have to notify our insurance company. So I know that in the past, this bill has been used. I'm just not really sure exactly as to how we're protected in the event of something occurring over there during the time they have control of this, of the facility. So if somebody can help me understand as to what we've done in the past on this, I can't
I
recall it.
apologize. I can't remember. Do you, Lisa?
I don't see anything in the agreement.
You get a cert for this? You want to go check it and we'll come back to it? Thanks.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I think I second the motion. I can make I guess you could say, a friendly amendment, if need be, in order to make this agreement subject to attorney review and approval, if it needs to be some additional items added.
And no one's here to talk, is anyone?
It
No,
says
I
in
know
here that we
everyone
have to
here.
carry, it says in here that we have to carry our own insurance, and so do they. I think we get certs on this. That's what Lisa went to check. I think Ypsilanti Township gets to cover anything that when they're using our building.
Well, we would have our insurance already on liability and property damage. I'm not really sure. It says it shall be the individual responsibility, each of the parties to carry and maintain its own. I'm more concerned about something happening and us being named a party with us being responsible for our own. There should be some kind of a hold harmless or.
I'm almost confident that she gives us certs for this from WCC, yeah.
Sure.
And Angie's not here, so, but, we went from 16,000 to 18,000, and we added room 301. I'm not, does anyone know what room that is? I'm sorry, I can't.
Lisa probably does. She was there.
What they have
Is it
this
the-
year, Doug?
So it's not the hallway where the seniors are at, but the hallway, like if you're coming before the front desk, you go to the right, and it's the first room just past the,
Art room? First room, you know, where the art,
yeah, it's, you know, the door that you can go into the back of the office where Amy's office is at, that door that exits to the hallway, it's the first room just past that door.
okay.
Point of clarification.
So they had,
That was clarify. Yep, go ahead.
yeah, so they're going to do one room, 3 evenings per week for 2,000 a year, but we have 16,000. I mean, I'm just trying to understand exactly what they're doing. I'm a tad bit concerned, which it might have been in the last one, where it says smoking, the use of any alcohol, beverage, and/or drugs other than those expressly prescribed by a physician for medical purposes is prohibited. So I don't know what alcohol beverage might be prescribed, you know, by a physician, but that's odd language to me, just as looking at it. We have a smoke-free, alcohol-free currently. It's just, that reads weird to me, I'm just saying. And you can't smoke on the premises.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
I know, again, I'm the second motioner to this. Is it a possibility that I could amend that to make a motion to table until we can get the rest of the information that's
A
needed?
motion to table is always in order.
Okay, motion to table, please.
Support.
Motion, Ross Williams, support Eldridge to table, no discussion. Rowe,
Yes.
Eldridge.
Yes.
Ross Williams.
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe.
Yes.
Stumbo, yes. Doe.
Oh, yes.
And Wilson.
Yes.
Huh? I'm sorry. Okay. The next item, so that was tabled, is request approval agreement with the National Kidney Foundation for enhanced fitness classes at the community center for 2020.
So move.
Support.
We have a motion by Gerald Rose, support by Eldridge to approve the fitness classes. Questions or this is another agreement. Doug, have you read this agreement?
This one has every insurance clause there is in it. I'm not really sure it's the right insurance clause. They want us to
Is anyone here?
Indemnify them. Both these contracts really need to be, I know Karen's got a good relationship with the MML. There's some serious concerns I have about this language in this contract. And I think it needs to be reviewed by our insurance people as well.
Madam Chair, I would make a motion to table.
Support.
Motion to table Eldridge, support Wilson. No discussion. Roll call vote. Gerald Rowe.
Yeah.
Eldridge.
Yes.
Ross Williams.
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe.
Yes.
Stumble votes yes. Doe.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
The item
Stand
is
on-
tabled.
Who supported it?
Eldridge and Wilson.
Jimmy, okay, thank you.
Number 18 is a request to set a public hearing date of July 16th, 2019 at approximately 7 PM for the creation of a Streetlight Special Assessment District 2017 for Ambler Grove subdivision. Oh, I forgot the first one. Number 17 is a request to set a public hearing date of Tuesday, July 2nd at approximately 7 PM for two private road variances.
So, support.
Motion Rowe, support Gerald Rowe. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 18 is request to set a public hearing date of Tuesday, July 16th at approximately 7 PM for the creation of Streetlight Assessment District number 2017 for Amberley Grove subdivision number 2.
Support.
Motion Doe, support Gerald Rowe. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Request to schedule a special township, is it a special?
Because it's not on our, it's listed to save the dates, but it's not listed as a meeting, so we don't have to call it special, we can just say regular.
Request to,
Regular, let's just say regular.
to schedule the regular township board work session and board meeting on Tuesday, July 2nd at 2019 at 5 and 7 PM respectively.
So moved. Support.
I didn't motion it.
Oh,
I said I did.
You supported it.
Who made the motion?
I did. I was
All right, there you go.
I did.
Motion Eldridge.
Respectively is doing in there.
Support.
So it's Stan and who? I'm sorry.
It was you.
Well, I know, but I thought maybe someone else made it.
Stan and you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
Can we just make sure it's added to our online calendar? Because that date's not currently on there. Like, we all saved it, but it's not on the website.
Yeah, it's at the bottom, right?
Well, like on
first
the
and-
actual calendar, it's not there. Like on here, this one. Just ask.
It should have an asterisk on there setting those aside.
It doesn't.
Future. No, I'm just saying.
Okay. I mean, for us,
I've never seen that diagram that you just showed, so we'll make sure,
just so the public knows that there's a meeting.
Lisa, you'll make sure that it's,
Just ask Rebecca to
Okay.
put it on there. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks, Lisa.
no problem. No problem.
we vote on
Everything's good. Okay, we're on budget.
Did we vote on it?
You mean vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Right.
So on the budget amendment, are we going to do the one before us since we didn't approve? Well, it's budgeted.
Yeah, we can just they can bring that back when they do it, July 2nd, right?
Okay.
Is that okay? I have a motion to increase the general fund by $6,115, that's for PTO and for Cliff's camera, to $10,090,671, improve line item changes outline, decrease the bike, sidewalk, rec, roads general fund 2 budget by $489,950 to $2,162,498, and approve line item changes as outlined, and that's for the Grove Road pathway
to
items that are
approve.
on the agenda. So move. Wait, you said move.
Yeah, I move to approve.
Monica moved it. I'll support it.
Motion Monica Ross Williams, support Lovejoy Rowe. Are there questions regarding the budget? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Authorization to seek bids. Number 1 is request to seek sealed bids for the installation of a concrete slab at the hydro station.
So move.
Support.
We have a motion by Rowe, support by Eldridge. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 2 is a request to seek sealed bids for the shore stabilization issues, there's a fly, in 2 areas of Ford Lake Park.
Support.
Motion Rowe, support Eldridge. Is there questions regarding this? Matt was going to give us an update on the Grove Road, but he's not here. So when we get a written update, we'll be able. Okay, because I know do you have update on the video equipment? The videoing of it?
There's no update on the video equipment, just that survey was done.
Okay, but, sure, give it. Huh?
There was an issue.
With the storm?
Storm drain, yeah.
Oh, the inspection of the storm?
For some reason, I can't hear you back there, but I can hardly hear, so I apologize.
He does have a mic.
So,
You're Elliot?
Elliot Smith with OHM.
Okay.
And you're referring to the slope erosion on Grove Street, or Grove Road, correct? Okay. So survey work was done, and G2 and the Road Commission and OHM are all collaborating with each other, and there was inspection of the storm sewer at Grove where the slope is eroding, and then I believe there's also an outlet going towards Loon Feather, but the part of Loon Feather where the slope is destabilizing, there's no storm drain near that area. So there was speculation that some of the slope erosion was caused due to a failure of a storm pipe, and that information wasn't totally accurate. It was due to just the heavy influx of rainfall lately.
And you're referencing the land inside of the park, not the road.
I'm referencing the land just south of Grove Street, and then in Loon Feather Park on the west slope. There were 2 areas of concern.
So when they this is about the Grove Road, total landslide that's
Yep.
going on.
Yeah,
where they
Silver
have
Road.
shut down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 3 weeks, I think, first it was reported by a resident, thank goodness. And that's what started the ball rolling on this. But the road commission, OHM hired someone to videotape the storm
Yes.
drain. Was there a break or separation in that storm pipe? And
I'm not aware I'm not privy to that knowledge at this
Okay.
time.
we're just trying to figure out the cause of this landslide?
Right, we should have a report relatively pretty soon.
They said 2 weeks, the information would
Yeah.
be,
Right.
in 2 weeks.
A recommendation should be proposed within about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, to find solutions to stabilize that slope.
Do they have, I know they're cutting the trees now, so they can put in a pylon? And, excuse me, I know enough to be dangerous. but
Right.
it-
Yeah, I can't speak to what kind of solutions they're doing.
Oh.
There are pylons being discussed, but hasn't been a formal proposal to remedy the slope.
So my understanding is that that's one thing that has to happen in order to stop the landslide.
Right, that's where they're leaning towards, but nothing concrete yet proposed.
Okay, all right. So as I sent an update today that I had gotten or received from Aaron, was it Aaron?
Aaron Burkholz with the
Yeah,
Road
but
Commission.
I asked for the result of the videotaping. There's a fly. Okay.
He's aggressive.
Freaking me out.
I don't like flies at all.
You and Lisa don't like birds.
Yeah,
Flies.
that won't really help us until we know that, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So 2 weeks, you hope to have a plan of action in order,
Plan of action and began to be implemented, yes.
okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion number 2.
Okay. Motion support.
Arloa Kaiser, 1421 Melvin Street. Matt said that they did soil borings to see what kind of soil was there, and that all this information with the drone with the topography all that kind of stuff would be ready in 2 weeks.
Put in a report, yeah. Hope it doesn't continue raining because. So we have a motion and a support. Are there questions and comment? All in favor? And finally, on our agenda is a request to seek sealed bids for the construction and installation of a new generator at the Law Enforcement Center.
Move to approve.
Motion Wilson, support Rowe. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right, motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion Rose, support Wilson to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8:51 PM. Thank you.
Was it like a fly brain? Oh, was it? I missed it. Usually I can hear them. They're usually so big, you can hear them.
The first letter is cut off, but that was information that was out at the desk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you want to second one?
Oh, this was fine.
Okay. I didn't read it, but it,
Because we don't have the summer playground in our place, so I don't know where the free food is served free.
I volunteered at Boys and Girls Club, and they had summer meal, and it was garbage. Those kids didn't eat half of it. It was thrown out. So why would you bring in? I mean, come on, feed them what they'll eat.
Right,
You can't
right,
sneak nutritious stuff in there.
right.
So.
Yeah. So hopefully they've changed.
I don't know.